Hey, hey. Happy as we're recording this, it is Monday. Happy Monday, Chad. How are you doing?
I'm very well, and you?
Doing good. I hate recording these events, but it is the season. It is conference circuit, so I'm gonna be on the road, and we're gonna be. So how we're gonna be handling this today? If you're watching this after the fact, we are recording this, but we will have members of representatives of ScaleSite in the chat, ready to answer your questions, take inquiries, and also to go ahead and so feel free to ask your questions. We want to be as helpful as possible. All right, Chad, go ahead and introduce yourself, sir, and then I'll take my turn.
Hi, I'm Chad, the cyber strategy evangelist. And yeah,
I,
Logan is my boss.
hey, I'm Logan. I'm Chief AI Officer here at ScaleSite AI. We're all about helping businesses use AI to create ROI, return on investment. So here's our proposition, Chad, and I think everyone here should know what we're asking for today. If you give us 30 minutes of your time today to watch our presentation, we're going to show you how to unlock up to 30% more on your bottom line. AI is a game changer. Chad, before you joined our company, I know your AI experience was a little bit lacking. And since you've joined us, you've had a chance to deep dive. What are your thoughts? Is AI a gimmick, or is AI going to change the world, or is it somewhere in between? What are your thoughts on that?
Um, I think it is already changing the world. Yeah, basically AI ChatGPT was make an email for me, kind of thing. Used as a tool. I think if you maybe treat it more as an advisor or partner, you unlock more, you get further.
Yeah, let's go over the agenda then. Talking about that, right? Let's build our case. So we're going to be talking about first off the problem today. Which is efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. We're going to talk about the don'ts of AI. We see tons of common mistakes and missed opportunities because people are treating AI as a bolt-on solution. We're going to show you 4 different areas of your business that AI can immediately start returning ROI in when done correctly. We're going to talk about the mystical term prompt engineering and how it can make your life better. Because AI, garbage in, garbage out, quality in, quality out. Prompt engineering is key, especially if you're going to be using LLMs in your business. And then how you take this information and move forward will be our final thing. So first off, the efficiency problem. And I have yet to talk to a business owner, a founder, a CEO, an investor. I mean, everybody is feeling this right now. Everybody is running hot. Especially if you're in the tech space, but even if you're not in the tech space, people are feeling like they're being asked to do 10 jobs and they're feeling overwhelmed. And it's not your imagination, right? Like that is absolutely what's going on. The market is starting to be challenged. We're in a bit of a lean hiring cycle on a global economic scale. And on top of that, AI is increasing competition down the road. So what does that mean? It means cash is tight. Time is even tighter. I struggle. Chad, do you feel like there's not enough hours in the day sometimes?
Yeah, no, sometimes it feels like a 2 hour day.
It's like, wait, I just woke up. Where'd my day go? It feels that way. And the worst part is we're not just dealing in a vacuum, right? Competition's out there and it's relentless. And AI is a game changer no matter what vertical or industry you're in. It's just all about application. So the end result is every founder, every CEO, every executive knows they need to output more to compete. They need to increase whatever it is the thing they do, be more efficient, control their costs. And due to that, while they also need to output more and make more money, they also have never felt more pressure than this is one of the most, I'd say maybe COVID, but COVID was so short that it didn't really count. This is one of the most pressing times since the '08 crisis to keep headcount lean. Since the '08 financial crisis, I have never seen a market where there's more pressure in the small business field, especially the under 500 employee range, to keep their headcount flat or as minimal as possible. You hear it no matter where you go. How do I do more with less? How do I do more with less? How do I do more with less? Well, we believe the solution is going to rely on strategic application of AI. Give you context. Chad, history lesson. How did you do in history in school?
Um, Dates and names were terrible, but knowing the history was good.
Well, let's
I
talk
could
about
have used
history,
I,
right?
I could have used AI then.
So we've had over the last 300 years, 250 years, several industrial revolutions, right? And when you think industrial revolution, think of the invention of the steam engine, combustion engine, electricity, moving from an agricultural society here in the United States to a more manufacturing side. For a while, we were in the middle, I believe, and we still might be, but we're on the very end of it, of Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 was Internet of Things. It was technology. It was more automation. Think software as a service, the internet, right? Industry 4.0 is really where the internet came in. Kind of, you remember the 90s, the dot-com bubble bust, and then everything onward. The last 30 years, we've been in Industry 4.0, and it's just been going faster. I would say, and a lot of experts agree with me, we're now in Industry 5.0. 5.0 is less about teching and outsourcing tech and more about being strategic with human resources and letting AI help handle things that humans are not uniquely suited to do. To give you context of what we're talking about, you can see the examples here, but I'm going to go through the stats. 40%, it's coming. 40% of US small businesses were using AI in some form in 2024. That's up from 23% in 2023, or a 17% increase across the board. 91% of small businesses, when surveyed, believe AI will drive future growth, with 77% now just at least planning to adopt new technologies, including AI. And 75% of small businesses are at least experimenting with AI. I mean, if you have a small team, go ask who here's using AI. The hands that go up might surprise you, right? Everybody's using ChatGPT. Everybody's using Gemini. Did you see that Gemini? I think we talked about this with you. Gemini released if you're a college student, you can use it for free during essay season because we're in final season here in university. So they gave it away for free, and then it basically broke Gemini because of the amount of demand there was to use it. I think you saw that, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's right. That's what we talked about. You were using Gemini, and it wouldn't let you put prompts in because it said, "Yep, we're unavailable right now. Please leave a message." Adoption is taking off in storm, and it's going to be here. The problem we see a lot is people try to treat AI as a bolt-on solution, right? It's just another tool, another piece of tech, another subscription, another widget. And that doesn't go well, does it, Chad?
No, it's more primitive if you just use it as a tool, I think.
I mean, if you use it, it's a gimmick if you use it as a tool or just as a bolt-on option. I remember going to a conference and it was a guy trying to tell a bunch of insurance agencies, just have your team play with ChatGPT. That's how you get AI, right? And the answer to that is no, that is not how you get AI in your business. That's how you get a fancy email writer, right? Like that's not a game changer to your business and your bottom line. That is, oh, this is kind of nice to have with my writing and maybe some LinkedIn posts that nobody will actually like because everyone can tell when an AI is writing the post from scratch, right? Like that's not going to produce 30% to your bottom line. And so some of the areas we see when people try to do AI execution, they're not treating it as a strategic initiative. They're not treating it as a fundamental underpin of their business. They're treating it as, let me just buy this $10 a month, $20 a month, $30 a month subscription and call it a day. And so, you don't train people when you do that or set guidelines, and it creates confusion. And honestly, in the worst case scenario, a recipe for misuse and abuse, right? So better approach when you're training people, you need to create simple playbooks. You need to determine where AI makes sense in your business to use and when it doesn't. Great example of this, I saw a lot of insurance agents at that same conference talk about how they were feeding policy information for their insurance policies to ChatGPT and putting their email. That's a big no-no here in the United States, guys. That will absolutely get you in trouble. That is not your information. So it's up to the business owners, the CEOs, and the executives to set an example of this is where AI makes sense, high-level view. This is where it doesn't. The other thing I see a lot of mistakes of, and I feel this because we run an IT company as well, delegating AI to IT without any executive ownership. You're the tech guy. You go figure out how to use AI in our business. Delegate it out, right? Chad, based on your experience with AI, with no executive buy-in, how is that rollout going to go? You're not a tech person. You're a cyber strategy guy, right? So I want to talk to you about this. If I came to you and said, you, Mr. IT guy, I don't want to think about AI. I don't want to deal with it. You just tell me what I need to do. You take care of it. How's the AI going to roll out going to look like? And how's it going to go?
Well, probably not the way you want it. So, I mean, I'm not running the business. I don't know the business strategies as such. So I'm just going to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically just put simplified things to make, like you say, write emails.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you're gonna if you focus on your tech guy's just gonna talk about tech. That's all he's gonna do, right? He's gonna think of all the technical applications of it, not the business strategy. Hey, well, how do we measure success? What is the bottom line impact to our business? How do we make sure that we're getting the best bang for our buck? This is something you can't just delegate to an IT person unless they're, and even then, I would say your mileage may vary. If they're like a CIO level, right? Like a chief information officer, chief technical officer role, where they also understand business strategy. Okay, yeah, you might have a point there, although I would make an argument the CEO still needs to be conversant in order to hold the CIO accountable. But yeah, if you're just going to your mid-manager, director of IT guy, your uncle, your nephew who's good with computers, this is not going to go well for you. It's not an IT problem. It's a business strategy problem. And that's something that you can't delegate down to your junior people. And to that point, right, treating AI as a tool and not a strategy. I see so many people say, try ChatGPT, try some kind of chatbot, try some kind of widget. This is kind of cool, but I don't really see the point. X out, right? And I tried AI. And I'm here to tell you, Chad, you mentioned this before. Do you feel like before we started training you on prompt engineering that you really were getting anything out of AI that you couldn't have gotten yourself with a few extra minutes?
No, definitely not. It's more like, you know, make an email for me and it gives you what it thinks, but without you telling it exactly what you want and training it as such, it's like hiring a person that doesn't know how to do the job.
Yeah.
They're going to give you minimum help, so to speak.
Yeah, you have to align your AI to your business objectives, right? Do you want to increase bandwidth in your service delivery team? Do you want to automate routine tasks? Do you want to have more accountability on your service delivery when it comes to their customer service and analyzing it? You have to define the use case first, despite what the marketing buzz tells you. I get it. There's an AI widget for everything. The marketing are saying, buy. But the honest truth is the best approach to AI is figure out what you want to do with it, right? What are the objectives you want? Then go find the tools, the technology, and the services with AI that can deliver that for you, right? It's way easier to know when you determine what's my destination, where am I trying to get to, and then figure out how to get there. Then, okay, I'm just going to start walking, and maybe I get where I want to go, maybe I don't. Like one makes sense, the other is just kind of sounds like you're going to get lost in the woods. And then, yeah, I would say the biggest thing too is you got to set success criteria. What is it you want the AI to do, and how do you measure whether or not it's successful? ROI, right? Return on investment. People try AI, but they never measure or have no concrete way of measuring whether it saves them time, it improves their quality, or increases their output. They're shooting in the dark, right? They don't know how to justify to the executive team, hey, this is where we're seeing real returns on our investment in time or money. You need to have metrics that you measure using AI. So standards of care. I like time specifically because time is a universal tracker of output of people's efficiency. But even then, right, customer experience metrics can also be improved, right? You need to have a metric you're measuring. And then when you implement AI, you need to track that metric and make sure the line go up at the level that you expected it to. If you're not doing that, it's going to be really hard to develop an AI strategy and also keep in budget, right? Because AI tools are expensive. That is one of the universal things for a subscription. I mean, the going rate I'm seeing more and more is closer to $30 per person per month for no matter what AI toolkit you're implementing. That seems to be what they want. Some are exceptions to the rules, but like Copilot, for example, Chad, it's over $30 a month if you want to do Microsoft Copilot. Fixer AI, which we've talked about before, that one's also $30 a month. Note-taking apps are $20 a month. It get very expensive very quick on the budget side if you're not measuring what is this giving back to me. This is what AI, other than doing repetitive automated tasks, which we will get to, AI has really interesting potential specifically on from the time you have an idea to the time that idea is ready to be executed. You can shorten that line, as I've shown in this graph. I'm a whiteboard guy. Chad, you've been caught in my whiteboard sessions. I'm a whiteboard guy, right? I have an idea. We got to sit down and figure out, okay, is this idea even viable? We have to brainstorm. Maybe I don't have the full idea yet. Maybe we're missing pieces of it. Have to create prototypes. Got to get some feedback from customers or from our internal team. Got to make revisions, right? Like there used to be a very set sequence, and it was kind of a messy thing. But especially if you're in a smaller business, startup space, you were really just trying to get this out the door, right? Now with AI, we can cut so much of that time down. We're seeing, instead of it taking 2 or 3 weeks to get an idea to execution for us internally, what does it take us, 2 to 3 days in some cases for a campaign or for an outbound idea or for a new strategy? We're seeing a 90% reduction in time in some cases from the time we have ideas, the time they're ready, good enough to go out the door, right? But you've seen it. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, definitely.
So what can that look like in your business? Well, let's start talking about that. So first off, AI excels in 5 key components of your business, but there is an order to them. They are, in order, administration, service delivery, marketing, sales, and then finally leadership. So I'm going to go over the 4 in those categories. We're going to keep leadership off the table for our next slide. That's more for our next slide we're going to get. But if you're in the admin side of things, Chad, do you like email?
No.
Do you think anybody will honestly say, I like email?
No, especially this day and age of all the spamming and that kind of thing.
I think the best way I ever heard summed up is an email is somebody else's to-do list for you, right? It's open to the world and they can send you whatever they want and they make your own to-do list. But you have to deal with it in the modern world. I was spending somewhere between 5 to 6 hours a week before I had AI helping me, just managing my inbox, sorting, making sure I'm responding to everything that's coming in. I was filtering out the marketing crap, right? Making sure that I can get to the stuff that matters. That was a real time intense thing. Now, and I actually have it tracked now through my AI assistant, I spend an average of 20 minutes a week managing AI and responding to stuff. How? Well, AI is really good at auto drafting emails based on previous correspondence. So I have drafts ready to go instead of writing from scratch, summarizing meetings I've had and sending out email notifications like, hey, here's a quick agenda, task creation, as well as inbox routing. Like my AI is excellent at figuring out, okay, this is an FYI email. You don't need to do anything. You're just looped in because you are in CC. This is a marketing email. Put it in the marketing folder. This is, okay, you might need to actually respond to this one. Let's put this in your inbox and make sure you respond to it. This is a notification email. Maybe you want to look at that, but it's not pertinent. And instead of having 87 emails a day I need to check, I need to do 3 that actually matter to me. That's 5 hours a week back in my pocket. That's huge. Service delivery, I think on the customer success, AI is a game changer because it allows you to implement accountability and figure out how to respond to customer needs faster than ever. With AI, you can go ahead and draft, have it look at client data, summaries, quarterly business reviews based on CRM or ticketing data. You can go ahead and have it tell you trends, for example, in the feedback. Hey, is there a specific kind of feedback we're getting consistently over and over and over? On top of that, you can have it go ahead and help you create content, which is awesome if you're in a SaaS space where you sell a tool or you're trying to onboard your team. Like, you can have it help you create training, videos, written material, help you figure out how to scale yourself and set things up and get things in front of you. I will say this before AI, creating an onboarding course was a huge task, but we're getting ready to do it right now, Chad. For our own team, we're redoing some onboarding for our service delivery, and it has been so much easier to get down to, this is what the onboarding video I'm recording should entail, right? Even just scripting, let alone letting the AI do it for me, just putting that stuff in. Sales and marketing. I know you were here to talk about that, Chad. How has AI helped you with sales and marketing right now?
Well, now learning how to do everything correctly, it's a game changer. Really shows you a different way of things, and people get used to doing things their own way over and over, and this opens up your mind to new ideas, new direction.
I love the fact it used to be to do marketing and sales, like cold outreach or a marketing outpost or whatever. You couldn't do anything except just constantly iterate, right? You had to go out and say, does this work? No. Okay, let's try it again. Does this work? Right? And you had to let real-time feedback be your only source of proofing. One of the things I love about AI is it can run a first pass on versioning for our cold outbound or for our outbound marketing. Say, hey, pretend you're our target audience. Do you resonate with this? And if not, why? And it gives great constructive feedback as long as you have the right prompts to say, this is not a good way to go about it. Or, yeah, this really does work because of XYZ. And it's, again, that whole shortening timeline from idea to execution. we have seen internally our outbound campaign timeline, the time it takes to create a good campaign and execute on it, has shortened dramatically. We don't need to do small sample sizes and a whole lot of we still do it. We don't need nearly as much A/B testing, right? And that's been huge. And then ops and finance, this one is probably one of the biggest things I've seen. AI is good at looking at large amounts of data and predicting trends, figuring out issues, summarizing problems, especially anything to do with finance. One of the things I love to do is train an AI to be my fractional CFO. Hey, here's my last year of financials, all cleaned up for you. Predict outputs, right? Do things I would expect the CFO to do. What's our yearly forecasting? Should our budget expectations be adjusted on a quarter by quarter basis? Are we on track or not on our sales pipeline, or are we going to have issues when it comes? It can look at all the data from taxes to sales projections to expenditure increases to forecasting on budgets. Like, are we in budget? And it can give you that nice little summary of, okay, I'm your fractional CFO. Here's roughly where you stand. And we're actually going to show the people that. So I love the term prompt engineering. It's a really fancy way of saying if you know how to write your AI prompts, your output and the quality of your output dramatically go up. So we internally use what's called the CRIT method. And we're actually going to show you guys a demo of the CRIT method today. The CRIT method is quite simply a different way of entering information to the AI and allowing it to be the one that guides the conversation. Chad, what do I say about when it comes to AI, right? You mentioned this before. We get stuck in our own biases, don't we? There's a way we like to do stuff, and whether intentionally or not, sometimes we just do the same things over and over because that's what we're comfortable with. Now that I've taught you CRIT, and I want you to speak a little from the heart here because you've been doing this a lot lately. How has that challenged your biases? Have you seen that challenging in your biases? Have you seen it like trying to expand you and give you alternatives? Talk about that with
me. Definitely. Like you say, the bias is we're used to doing something over and over, and you think you're doing it effectively and quickly. Almost like a horse with blinkers on. You don't see what else is out there. That's why I think companies hire, in the old days, a lot of different type of people to do all of this, whereas AI gives that to you immediately. It sort of broadens everything, gives you different perspective on what you're doing.
And I love the prompt engineering method because it doesn't matter which LLM you're using, a large language model. You can use ChatGPT, you can use Gemini, you could use Grok. Grok is funny. You can use Claude. Pick your AI, right? But this method works for all of them. So CRIT stands for context, role, interview, task, or tactics, depending on which one you like. I like tactics sometimes, but I digress. It turns this one little trick. This is an example of good prompt engineering. And there's various different kinds of prompt engineering, not just CRIT, but by using prompt engineering correctly, you can turn AI from a cool little gimmick tool to a strategic partner. Let me show you. So I'm going to go ahead and reshare my screen here real quick because I can't do two screens at once from StreamYard. And you should see ChatGPT pulled up in my window. Chad, do you see it?
Yes, it's there.
Fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead. Give me a second. So I'm going to type a quick prompt here. Need to edit these notes. I'll read this out. So first off, we need to give it context. Let's pretend I'm a business executive and I'm trying to figure out my finances. So for those of you who can't see the screen because it's a little small, I'll see if I can blow it up here a little bit. That's a little better. I'm going to read the statement out loud. I have a business credit card I would like to wind down that is carrying an outstanding balance of $25,000 at 28% interest. Pretend to be a seasoned financial advisor. Interview me to get any context you need and help me figure out the best way to tackle the outstanding balance mentioned above. Now, what have I done with this prompt, Chad? First off, I gave it my problem, context, right? I gave it a role, pretend to be a seasoned financial advisor, so someone who's actually an expert in the matters I'm asking about. I gave it permission to ask me for the context instead of just dumping everything on it. Why did I do that, Chad? Why did I do that?
Well, it needs to pertain to you specifically. It needs to gather information about you, about where you are.
AI does what you tell it to do, right? If it doesn't know the information, or if you tell it only consider certain information, that's exactly what it's going to do. By giving it permission to interview me, You're not giving it permission to think outside the box, to get outside of my biases. And then, of course, the test. Help me figure out the best way to tackle the outstanding balance mentioned above. We're going to go ahead and prompt this. Absolutely, Logan. Let's walk through this methodically, like a seasoned financial advisor would. The goal is to fully eliminate your understand your financial picture, your risk tolerance, your cash flow, and any levers we can pull to reduce or eliminate this debt. Here's my interview style approach to get all the information I need. And you can see here now it's breaking down questions, specifically getting information just like a financial advisor would. Now, fortunately for everybody here, I've gone ahead and preluded myself with a nice little prompt to answer these questions because we've done this a little bit. Hold on one second. This is a long button. Okay. So I'm going to give it all the questions it answered, right? And this is something right here. I created a hypothetical scenario and said, okay, I'm going to give you, this is how much cash flow I have per month. I have $10,000 of liquid cash and savings. I'm not really wanting to use any personal assets to pay it off, answering these questions. I have one other credit card that has a 0% interest rate at $40,000. I'm giving it all the options it's asking for. Payroll is a bit tight. My monthly reoccurring revenue is around $60,000 a month. And on average, we make grossly about $20,000 a quarter in one-time project revenue. I'm giving it all the financial details. Now let's go ahead and see what it says. Okay, it's the outline and the goals of what we wanted to do. Reduce interest burden, protect cash flow, especially payroll, avoid over leveraging personal risk. Yes, that'd be anytime you have this question, I don't want to end up in a box. And then preserve options in case of a downturn. You have $20,000 on your 40K 0% promo card. If it's truly 0% on transfers, move at least $10,000 of the high interest balance immediately. Okay. Confirm there's no transfer fee. Even 3%. $300 is worth it versus paying 28% interest. You are correct, Mr. AI. Action: call the issuer, confirm promo details, initiate transfer. You save $233 a month in interest immediately. Step 2: refinancing the remaining $15,000 via a personal or a business or personal term loan. And it gives you options of who I could lend from. The lenders like Fundbox, Bluevine, or your bank credit union may yield a lower rate due to your 710 score. Typical terms are 10 to 18% APR over 12 to 24 months, often unsecured. Even at 15%, you'd cut interest almost by half. Run this play after the transfer to ensure you're only refinancing what's left. And then budget $2,000 to $3,000 a month towards paying this off. And use that vendor cut potential, because I told I could cut up to $2,000 of vendor expenses to directly attack the balance. Supplement with one-time project revenue burst as well. So it's telling me, based on the revenues I just gave it, hey, you can cut $2,000 of vendor fees, put that towards the card. You can generate one-time project fees, go ahead and put that as well towards the card. Put everything towards that. It's giving me step-by-step and breakdowns, including some bonus tips. Chad, is this pretty useful?
Definitely.
Versus
you would have to pay somebody a lot to get there.
And let's just go ahead for the sake of hypotheticalness. I'm going to open a new chat. How do I refinance a 40K credit card with 28% interest? I want to share this with you for a second. I want to look. See how much broader this is versus what I had before. Hey, go find yourself a new credit card. Apply and transfer the full balance. Hey, take a loan from your bank at 2 to 7 years. Hey, find a HELOC or home line equity credit. This is not bad, but the advice I got before was specific to me. It was actionable. It was something I could definitely run with and tweak as I need. And that's the other thing too. Don't outsource your leadership to AI, but so edit as needed. Yeah, it's telling me here to go use a HELOC basically and figure out how to get a hold of this. Don't get me wrong, this isn't bad advice. It's Googling this about the AI, and I still say this is better, but the previous prompt, this one, way more specific to me, way more actionable to the scenarios I gave here, right? I can see the entire play-by-play of how I'm going to do this. And just by adding a little bit of context, I dramatically increase the prompt's quality. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, well, we are at time. So today, hopefully you guys got a lot out of this. What are your next steps? That was the last thing we promised we would be sharing. So your next steps are quite simply to go ahead and sign up. We have a free AI implementation guide, which you can see down below. If you just want to get some ideas on how to implement AI in your business, we have both our Crit Prompt Engineering Guide and a 9 different areas of your business and examples of how you can implement AI inside of them guide that you can download today at scalesite.ai/9ways. But if you want to talk with us, we're also offering, and I would really encourage people to take this, a free 15-minute strategy session. What this means is you can come with specific questions and ask us anything you want about AI implementation in your business. Do you have a question about how it looked like specifically for you? We got you. Go to scalesite.ai or scan the QR code on the screen and go ahead and click the book an appointment button that you're going to see in like 3 different parts of the website and get scheduled today. We can go ahead and answer your questions. This is a 15-minute free, no obligation session. I got to be clear on that. There's no obligation. There is no skin. We are giving this time away for you free. See, between the two, the guide and between this, you guys should have a great jumpstart to implementing AI in a strategic manner in your business. Chad, any parting thoughts before we adjourn?
Yeah, use AI as your partner, and we shall see you there.
Yep, I like the term. Jeff Woods coined it, and I like the term from his book AI-Driven Leader. Use AI as your strategic thought partner, not your strategic thought leader. You still have you have to own AI and you have to guide it, but AI can enhance you in so many different ways and give you so much ROI, even on leadership with the right prompt engineering. Take advantage of this today. Take your business to the next level. I'm Logan. This is Chad. Stay safe out there, everybody, and have a great rest of your week.
See you there.